Good afternoon, and welcome back to Advocacy for Vape Mushrooms. For vaping mushrooms. Okay, so let us begin. Today is part 3 of lion's mane. Okay, we left off on a paper pertaining to the utilization of lion's mane for depression. It's the idea, and Erinacines is a isolate of erinaceus in the fruiting bodies of lion's mane. Erinacines belong to a group of cyathin diterpenoids and have been shown to induce NFG synthesis. Currently, 15 have been identified. Wow. What is it? Including A to K, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, P, Q, and S. Among these Erinacines A through I, Figure 3, were found to promote NFG synthesis, although other Erinacines are still being investigated. However, underlying mechanisms how Erinacines enhance NGF release remains unclear. So let's look at what this says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people. Or 8. Erinacines A, B, and C strong stimulation nerve growth factor. Oh, NGF is nerve growth factor. So far we have what? So each mushroom has a constituent, a portion. Like this has Erinacines, right? I should write this stuff down. Okay, so novel compounds. Many novel bioactive compounds of lion's mane are being actively discovered, other than, well, let's see, discovery. There's hericenones and Erinacines. Wow. Hericium, get it, Erinaceus, erinaceus, erinaceus. But they do have Hericium flagellus. I wonder what they call that. Pelagies. Neurite outgrowth on C12 cells. Well, that's interesting. Does it help us? Three new isobenzoquinone derivatives from the fruiting bodies of erinaceus. Including ergosterol peroxide, silvestrol, which included nerve growth factor. Should we look this one up? Wait. Maybe later, huh? So I gotta find the title. A, B, and C strong stimulants and nerve growth factor synthesis from mycelium, hericium. I don't see a control number, DOI. Alright. Alright, come on, let's go back down. Erinacines, isolated for free body, anti-inflammatory activity, inflammation-associated depression. Of particular interest, the ethanol extract of lion's mane mycelium enriched with Erinacine was found to modulate expression level of serotonin, noradrenaline, and dopamine, as well as BNF, D, and F signaling. However, biological compounds attributed to the antidepressant effects remains to be identified. So they haven't identified it yet. But mechanism of action, hippocampal neurogenesis is one of the major therapeutic targets for the treatment of depression based on a neurogenetic hypothesis of depression, while active compounds extracted from lion's mane, including its mycelia and fruiting bodies, are found to stimulate the expression of neurotropic factors, such as neural growth factor. Increasing levels of it, so that's cool. Chronic administration. Furthermore, chronic administration extract also increased the number of bromodioxyuridine immunoreactive cells in the granular cell layer of the dendritic gyrus. Additionally, there's an increase of the double label cell. These results included at a chronic high dose could increase the number of mature hippocampal neurons differentiated from new neurons present prior to the first administration of it. So it affects our brain so much that we could differentiate the new ones that were developing under the influence of it, and then after the influence of it. So that's pretty cool. Monoaminergic modulation, monoaminergic modulation. Modulation of monoamine neurotransmitters is another major therapeutic target for treatment of depression. So that 14 days restraint stress-induced levels of monoamine neurotransmitters in the hippocampus of mice. Right, so you want to increase it. So this kind of counteracts that. The anti-inflammatory pathway. This is the pathway that we want people to use. If they use this, they may not inflame conversation. Advocacy for mushroom vape. Think about that. $200 to 400 milligrams per kilogram. And I'm doing micrograms. My goodness. All right, so we We saw this before, now we know pretty much what's going on with it, why this chart is here. We kind of understand now. LPS-induced inflammation, where they injected to induce, and then they gave the administration, and then chronic stress, and then the outcome. Rescue behavioral despair, time spent in the perpetual side of OFT, tail suspension testing mobility, force swim testing mobility. Well, like if you're gonna force swim a rat and you don't let him go anywhere, his stress level is going to go up high very fast. And I guess same thing, they said tail suspension, pretty nasty. I mean, that's kind of, kind of plastic if you ask me. But here's future perspectives of lion's mane research in depressive disorder. Lion's mane crude extract contains various Erinacines, and possibly other bioactive compounds that are still being discovered. Overall, important nerve growth factor enhancing activities of lion's mane are possibly mediated through the synergistic effects of several compounds in the crude extract. This is pretty crudely extracted. But they describe how to induce it or how it's induced. And this is all about, can we have some research, some observational research, please? Yes. Yes, you and me can bring together a class of people willing to persist or pursue the advent of healthy vaping. And if anybody's willing to keep records, records are good. They're saying we need records. Observational study observational study is just as valid as a lab study, as inducing situationals for rats. Observational study is watching the people that are being administered with the mushroom vape, such as yourselves, and just keep record. Well, today I had this situation happen. I don't know what I do normally, but while the past is moot point, because now I am vaping mushrooms, and this is how I reacted. The greatest part about observational studies is the fact that the observational studies are its own control group. Because logistically, think about this. Everybody's an individual. Everybody's going to react differently to every situation. All that I'm saying is that, listen, so far this is number 5 of 6 mushrooms, and every one of them have a specific role to do in our daily lives. Like cordyceps, its secondary characteristic is numbing, and then this secondary characteristic is cell building. Think about that. Turkey tail secondary effect happens to be the stoppage of tumors from seeding themselves into your lungs, metastasizing. Okay, conclusions. Preclinical and clinical studies have demonstrated that lion's mane significantly ameliorates depressive disorder through monoamine neurogenic, neurotropic, and anti-inflammatory pathways. So multiple ways of getting depression ameliorates. The lion's mane mushroom kind of pushes it out of the boundaries. If you think about what they're saying here, even though we don't know how it works, we know that it works. And through many different ways a person gets a depression, this pushes it out of the boundaries, meaning that no longer is depression an issue. Even though it's still present, at least this way your mind's not depressed. Due to the factors that create depression. Now there is a depressive narrative we tend to seek, especially when we want attention, especially when we want attention, but two different types of attention we would want, but not necessarily both at the same time. So, and perhaps the psychological aspect could be dealt with having a utilization of this. Like if you smoke this in public, your depression goes away, but your attention seeking is still there, because smoking this in public will attract attention. So, in a sense, you're not giving anything up by smoking or by vaping mushroom vape. But you are gaining a potential platform to say, hey, let's smoke vape in public, instead of being a second-class citizen because we would like to enjoy a relaxing vape. For example, let's say I was able to pull this off, this cigar, C''GAR, right? Where I got the manufacturer to manufacture me 158 of these sets, and I send them out to 158 influencers and say, look, I see you enjoy smoking a cigar. Here is my cigar, and instead of being a individual purpose, let's say I send them 5 of these. 5 of these with a year's worth of these filled. This is 3 milliliters. That would be 90 of these. 5 of these in a box, right? I calculated it to be, for all 158, to be $104,000 the company would have to come up with to give me to do this. That's 158. So my point is 158 of these is $4,000 something, and you add the additional 4 more. Let's say $20,000 for this particular deal, and then $80,000 to $90,000 for the tips to go together. Now, the good thing about this particular setup, the idea is, if I send these influencers this packet of cigars, kind of quote cigar box, it could be a product on its own, right? Like another person could say, I want to buy one of those, and they buy it. But the influencers get it to showcase it, to present, if they have 5 guests, 5 people to be smoking cigars on screen. Just to promote the fact that people can together vape in a group. And that's money I don't have, of course, but I guess I could raise it and then buy this and then do it the strong arm way, meaning that I would be the consumer, consuming the boxes to put them in, consuming the cartridges to buy them from, and consuming the devices to put into the cigar boxes to send out. And then of course lettering and then marketing. But the marketing is, the budget is the sending these 158 pieces out. Why 158? Well, it comes to find out in reality, that when you need to bring a group of people together, the average per adult male is 30 other adult males, or 29 other adult males. Maybe it's 33. It's somewhere around 33 to 35. Let's say, I would say 33 or 30 to round it off. Let's round it off at 30. Why would I say that? That's crazy stuff. But with 158, you have groups of 30, right? Now, why would I say that? Meaning that if you have 5 people who influence 5 other people, or 6 people, that's 30, right? But why is 30 such a strong number with human? You know, is it because of the 3? Is it because of the 0? It's because of qualified, quantification of man working with man. Well, if you remember your history or your investigation as to what we were like in the times of the hundreds of thousands of years that we hung out together as large extended family groups when we're trying to feed everybody. So usually a hunting party is around 30. What are they hunting? Enough food for the year, right? Now, granted, a bear can feed everybody. Now, back in times, let's go to North America, for example, in your northern latitudes worldwide, where bears are present. We would eat bear, gorge ourselves in bear, become fat with bear, and then in lean times, our bodies would take that fat and use it for energy, right? So that kind of weird cycle there. But majorly speaking about the amount of people that we are in direct contact with on an easy basis would be about 30 adult men and their entourages. What's entourages? Well, you have a wife and children, you know. Not every society in the history of man believed in monogamy, but every society in the history of man has believed in the production of his own species is regulated by the amount of effort he puts into putting food in their stomachs and protecting them from being food for other things. So in a classic, so what I am saying about 30 is that hundreds of thousands of years of practice, we had a measure of potential when it comes to that amount of people. All right, here's a good example of what I'm saying. Look at the cabinet, right? Look at the cabinet. The cabinet is the influencers to one person, right? Now the cabinet, and you're like, well, are you talking about medicine cabinet? All right, funny guy. Let's talk about medicine cabinet. Advocacy for vape. Okay, so if I have 12 followers, and my wife has 12 followers, that's 24. Me and my wife is 25, 26. So how close to 30 is that? Right? No, think it through. Think of what I'm trying to tell you. Look at carbon atoms. Look. We are carbon based. Would it be too far of a stretch to say that extends the amount of connections a carbon atom has? C60 is called C60 for a reason. Double the size. But if you have a right-hand woman and she has a trusted group of 14, and you have a trusted group of 14, that's 28, and you two would be 30. Just saying, you know, just saying. Is it not enough to say that a strong man leads a tribe? To say a strong woman helps him? Because every time there's a conflict, the strong man is going to be usurped by another strong man. Get it? So you need the, what is it called? Loyalty? Is it loyalty? Is it friendship? You know, you have two different people marrying together to make a family. And each of those two different people have connections, have loyalties. You know, if you hate me, you may go to my wife and say, I hate him. And she says, well, you know, I hate him too. And have a great time talking about how much they hate you. Or me. I know, it's a little stretch. But I think, I am thinking that it's true. So, do we know anything about depression? Look at this. Do we? Look at this. Oh, this one's retracted, so 1 minus. So there are 90 cited. That paper I just more or less tried to, I destroyed trying to read to you. There are 101 references. Well, 100 because one that we saw was retracted. But 100 references for that one article that I just chopped apart and tried to read to you. So I'm not telling you that we're reading these articles just to prove to you. I'm just saying this falls in, this is advocating the vaping of mushrooms. That's what I'm saying. And I thank you guys very much for taking the time and listening to me. I hope your day was fine. I had a great day. Consider this. The advocacy for mushroom vape. Now, I was thinking, you know, to do a few episodes for each mushroom and tie it in. So I'm not sure. I'm going to look into it tonight to see what more I could dig up on. I mean, look at all those 100 articles I could go through. That would take forever. Well, I have forever to take. And that's just one mushroom. I have 6 mushrooms blended. So every puff I'm getting 13 micrograms or 14 micrograms, well it's actually 13 micrograms of mushroom. Which roughly is about 2 micrograms per mushroom. If this were a business to make claims and come truce with the claims, then come on, come truce with the claims. Advocacy for mushroom vape. Longevity, antidepressant, anti-tumors, anti-tickle in the lung. What was the other one? Chaga. You know. All right, so thank you very much. This will be almost a half an hour.